Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. The new TV series coming your way is called Love, Victor. Now, if that sounds a little vaguely familiar, it's because it's based on the hit movie called Love, Simon. And I'm here with the star of the TV series, Michael Cimino. Michael, talk a little bit about your own relationship to the movie. When watching it, what did it mean to you?
Definitely. For me, when I first watched the movie, I really felt like it resonated with me because it was a story that needed to be told. So with that being said, I loved the movie. So when I got the audition for the spinoff, I was really excited to audition for it, see what kind of way they were going with it, and So with that being said, I watched the movie a whole bunch in preparation for the show to kind of build this character that was a little bit different, a lot of bit different, but also has some similarities as well.
In narrow strokes, you could say, oh, it's a show about a teenager coming to terms with his sexuality. But in broader strokes, it's just a struggle of a teenager coming to terms with himself. And I think anybody who's gone through those 13 to 18 years understands, what is my footing? Where do I fit in? Who are my friends? What is my trajectory? Talk a little bit about how the show is really planting Victor in such an interesting foundation.
Definitely. Well, Victor is in, the beginning of a move. He just moved into a whole new state, not only a new city, but a whole new state. He's, in the midst of chaos within his family that he's not entirely aware of, but he knows something's going on. As well as Victor's just really trying to figure out who he is and where his sexual orientation is, and where he lies on the schedule or spectrum as well. So with that being said, it's a really interesting dynamic because not only is he trying to find out who he is, how to navigate high school, who are his friends, but also what is his sexual orientation, which I think is all really a lot of things that are piled on top of him.
You're, I think, 20 years old, so you're just a few years out of high school.
Yes.
How was your own navigation? You survived, congratulations, but what were the high school years like for you?
Well, for me personally, I never actually went to a real high school. I did online school. So that was a little bit different, but also I feel had its own set of challenges, because trying to find out who you are when no one else is there to kind of validate what you're doing or whatever is a little bit difficult, but also teaches you a new way of thinking, of just being who you are authentically without having to get validation from others.
We're living in a really strange time, not only with the pandemic, but also with equality. And we're seeing it on so many different fronts. And, if this show was 20 years ago, even a character being gay was kind of subjected to having some other type of issues. And there's such a normalcy about this. How important is a show like this as representation to kids out in the world who are going to watch this and just see a face that looks like them, that sounds like them, that's not being ridiculed?
I think it's so important to make a show where it shows that it's normal to be part of the LGBTQI community. My biggest thing is that, I'm Latino, or Latinx. And so growing up, I had people to tell me, look, you're going to be treated differently by these people. There is racism that you're going to face. There is this, there is that. But if I came out as gay and no one in my family was gay, and my family didn't talk about it much, how am I going to be able to navigate this world and understand what I'm going through if no one in my small town or no one in my family even spoke about being gay? So how would I identify these feelings? And so I think that, having a show like this kind of offers perspective for not only parents to be open and vocal about talking about it, but opens the conversation for kids to speak about it amongst their peers and amongst a whole bunch of other people.
You mentioned about your heritage, you have a Latin background, but you also have a little German background, and this is actually for Germany. So where is your German DNA? Where does that all kind of fit in?
So I'm not entirely sure. So my grandmother was Mennonite in Pennsylvania. So she's Pennsylvania Dutch, which is either German or Dutch, I guess. I'm not entirely sure about her whole ethnic background. So we just say either German or Dutch usually.